Namaste and welcome to the fourth episode of second season of Musical Musings. As you are all aware, today's guest is one of the most renowned musician, a sarod maestro, a composer, an arranger, a great guru, and is the main pillar behind one of the biggest musical festivals, classical music festivals of India, Swar Samrat Festival, a Sangeet Natak Academy awardee, Pt.Tejendra Narayan Majumdar ji. I don't think so. I have to introduce him because everyone knows Pandit ji and his music. So without me doing much of the talking, I will immediately request Pandit Tejendra Narayan Majumdar ji to join us and take us through his musical journey, his musical thoughts, his musical process. Namaste, Pandit ji.
Namaste, namaste. How are you?
I am fine. Welcome to Musical Musings.
Thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure and honor to be a part of this program. In fact, I had been following your program, the first ever concert with Narayan. That was unique. That's very good, and just looking forward to have a good chat and good fun with you today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking out time and being with me and with all of the viewers who will be joining us today to share your musical journey. So thank you so much once again for taking out
Thank
time.
you.
I would like to begin by asking you, how did your journey start in music? Because I know I have read that your grandfather uh, he started a mandolin uh, uh, training. So if you can start from there, then it would be really amazing.
It's a very common feature of the musical family that when a child is born, he is absolutely with the environment of like breathing in and breathing out music. You know, so that happened to me also because before my consciousness, everything started and I just heard that I was totally covered with the instruments. When I started crawling that time, sometimes I used to touch the harmonium, sometimes I used to touch sitar or sarod or violin or tabla, whatever. And Though my father was a professional musician, he was a sitar player, later Ranjan Majumdar. He was a disciple of Ustad David Khan Saab and Birendra Kishore Rai Chaudhary ji. And my grandfather, in fact, the music started from my grandfather's father. So though they were not professional
Oh,
musicians in East Bengal, Bangladesh, that time it was East Bengal. So, as it happened to all, after the partition of that Bengal, they migrated to this part of Bengal and they had a long struggle. And, this is a very common kind of story who have come from there. And my grandfather, he was the main pillar of my, whatever I am, because he used to uh, dream. He used to dream a lot for me because he started teaching me music. He actually used to take care of my study and playing and whatever I have done. So before
oh,
my knowledge, they have taken the decision that I would be playing sarod because my father was a sitar player and my one of my uncles, he was the youngest uncle, he was a sarod player, and he was the disciple of Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. So
Oh,
that's how actually they have conceived the idea that this boy is going to take this instrument, sarod. So initially, we all of our family who after they got the minimum sense of music, they started with vocal and tabla, because tabla is very important to get the rhythm sense. So that's how actually it started. But with that, my grandfather took care of that, because I never ever played the smaller version of sarod. So I started with mandolin, and he used to teach me mandolin, Hindustani classical. So it was very difficult to hold a 4 year boy to hold the normal standard size sarod,
Sarod. Correct.
yeah. So after having passed with a lot of riyaz and talim in Hindustani music in mandolin, then I was taken to none other than Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab, one of my main gurus, mentors. And then I started learning from that great Ustad, and it was great fortune that he took me as his disciple. When I had been
Okay.
there, it was not like, he had taken 6 months to take the decision that whether he is going to teach me or not. So my
Oh,
father took me there at his place, and that time he was pretty busy. So gradually that started, and it was great fortune of mine that I have got the guru like Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab, later on the other gurus including Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. So
Khansa.
that's how
Yes.
it started,
Uh,
and that was going on,
yeah.
along
Yeah.
with the along with
Uh,
the along with the study.
Ji. Pandit ji, I would like to acknowledge presence of
Hello, just 1 second. Yeah, can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello,
few musicians here who are
hello, hello.
sorry. Some connectivity issue was there.
Yeah. Now,
I
now,
hope
now,
you're.
now it's okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Sorry.
it just
Sorry
shifted
for
to
the.
another connectivity line. So somehow it
Yeah.
was
Sorry. Yeah. No,
corrected.
I would
Yeah.
like to acknowledge a few of the dignitaries who are here with us. So Nandini Chakrabarti ji is here with us, and my
Namaskar.
father is welcoming you.
Namaskar,
Uh,
Tegre Saab. My best wishes and regards to you.
yeah. So then your student Ayush Mohan, he is here with us.
Hi,
Uh,
Ayush. How are you?
uh, Shri Bhaskar Roy ji, he is here.
Namaskar, Bhaskar Da.
Yeah. And Sahana Banerjee is here with us today.
Hi. She's a
Yeah.
she's a very she's a very good instrumentalist, sitar player.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in fact, just I was thinking to mention that you were there in my last festival, and she was also
Yeah.
supposed to be there, but
Yeah.
somehow it didn't happen. Definitely, I will be looking forward to have her in our forthcoming concert series.
Yeah. 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 So now moving on, Panditji, you have also learned vocal and tabla. You had good training of vocal and tabla under Amresh Chaudhary ji and Anil Palit ji.
Yeah.
So was this before you went to Bahadur Khan Sahab? Yeah, before,
No,
after?
no,
Uh,
no.
okay.
Actually, what happened, and this is also a very important thing I have to mention, that when I was learning from Bahadur Khan Sahab, as you know, our Seniya Maiha tradition is basically based on Drupad. Amresh ji, Pandit Amresh Chaudhary, who was the father of Samresh Chaudhary ji,
Amresh ji.
he was pretty close to our family. In fact, right, the relationship started from our ancestors' house in Bangladesh, in Pabna district. So my grandfather was, and my grandmother was like his elder brother and bhabi, you know. So
Okay.
from that time, we had a very nice relationship, and he used to come to our house. My father had a music institution, and he used to be there. He used to teach there, and I have had great fortune to learn Drupad Alap from him.
Oh,
And that time actually he showed a lot of things which I feel that he used to tell me that now I am going to give you this, and also my ustad also used to keep telling that whatever I am giving you, you will realize this after 20, 30 years. And that's how actually I am just trying to imbibe all these things what they have taught me. So
yeah.
that's how
Correct.
actually vocal music is very important. You can find all the good musicians, instrumentalists especially, they have learned vocal music, and they can sing. At least I'm not a singer, but at least I can, uh, uh, I can make the students understand, or whatever I can produce with singing, that this is the thing actually that has to be done through music. Because this is vocal music is for the instrumentalists. One day, one of the audience asked Baba, Ustad Ali Khan Sahab, that
Ji.
during your program we just saw you looked like you seemed to be thirsty, and you are
Hmm.
swallowing like this. So he told
Yeah.
that immediately. He had replied that, internally we always have to sing. So that makes dried up this part.
Correct.
So whatever uh, we are trying to
Playing.
produce through
Play.
through our playing,
Instrument.
that is the almost the translated version or transformed version of the vocal music. So one needs
Wow.
to know the vocal music. So all the
Wow.
nuances, and in fact I always try to keep telling my students, including in drive, that you need to learn vocal music. Otherwise you are not going to get the real essence of the music. Because
True.
technique is something which is very essential initially, but you have to conquer the techniques, and with that you have to produce the soul of the music, where the technique should be in the backbencher, that shouldn't be seen in the front. So that's a very special thing about music. And also, when I used to learn from both my ustad, I have learned a lot of Drupad bandishes to know the Ra group. As you know, that Drupad bandishes are very unique in the sense that Drupad bandish, whenever you just recite or you sing, you will get the whole raga flavor through that composition.
Wow.
so
True.
so those are the things actually I had to learn, and that's how actually I have been groomed. And
Wow.
at the same time, my father always used to keep telling me that you have to, as I have learned tabla, and I had a very normal aptitude for layers, tals, and the different tala structures and the different permutation combinations and layakaris. So I found Pandit Anil Palit. He was a fantastic, very, in terms of wisdom, I have found him absolutely excellent. Banaras Gharana, he also learned, he had learned from Kante Maharaj ji, Pandit Kante Maharaj ji, and Pandit Kishan Maharaj ji.
Oh.
And you won't believe how he had taught me. That time I was only 22, 23 years old. I used to go
Oh.
to his place, and from 7:30 to 1:30 he used to play thika. And in
Oh.
particular tempo, like as soon as I reached there, he used to tell me that you play this particular tempo and you now improvise. So that's how that the sense of the gatkari, what should be the gatkari in different tempo in one particular rhythm cycle, like in 16 beats, tintal, bilambit, or sitar khani, or middle tempo, or high speed, or drut. All the gatkaris and the materials what we have learned, we have gathered from Guru, it's not the same. Every in every tempo, in every laya, there should be different aspects of the gatkari. So that I have learned from him, and I
Wow.
had to imbibe all these things, and just to assimilate the whole thing, the music stands, and by
Wow.
virtue of that, whatever I am. It's all their blessings.
It's always gurus
Yeah.
who show us the path. There is no
Yeah,
doubt
and
about
and
it.
and you won't believe,
I,
I have had the great fortune to learn from Mr. Bahadur Khan Sahab. When I used to learn from him, he used to treat me like his own son, and sometimes I have seen that from 6 to 11, 5 hours continuously, he was teaching me with the exercise book of Dadu. So Alauddin Khan Sahab, and he was teaching. One day he
Ji.
started teaching me the Malhards. That now I am remembering that, as the monsoon is there. So he started with Mia Mallar, and then one after another. And when I came back home, it was like my brain was totally choco block with the ideas and the bandishes and all this. So that's how actually the things started, and he used to teach me, and hammering me that these are the things. What is raga? It's not the pakar, it's not the arohi aroho abroho. The
Correct.
structure, as if like you are trying to recognize somebody, and one time, after meeting several times, you would be able to recognize that person just having a look on the little part of the nail or little part of the finger. So that rag has to be so familiar to you, so that each and every part of your performance, that should reflect the whole essence of the rag. And
Wow.
that's what
Kya baat
actually I have been able to take from my gurus. And very
hai. Ji.
unfortunate, when in 1989 I had to lose my Guruji, Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. Very untimely, he passed away, and I was really at loss. And then I had been to another great musicologist and musician, Pandit Ajay Sinha Roy, who was the disciple of Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab and Ustad Ayat Ali Khan Sahab.
Oh,
And he actually used to tell me that you should go to Ustad Ali Khan Sahab. So I had been,
oh.
I had to take, I had learned from him for 2 3 years, and in
Okay.
1992, the great moment came to my life to reach Sir Samrat Ustad Ali
Right.
Akbar Khan Sahab. Uh,
Ji.
and that happened at San Rafael in USA. And the
Eh,
main
USA.
source of inspiration that came from the person who is Pandit Sapan Chaudhary. He actually
Wow.
was always with me, and he used to inspire a lot. Still he keeps inspiring me, and he had played
Yes.
innumerable times with me, and he was the main person behind I have become the disciple of Sir Samrat Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, and that continued up to
Wow.
2009. He just passed
Yeah.
away. So
Yeah.
that's how actually
Yeah.
the journey is still going on. I am still learning. I still believe that I
Yes.
am still a learner. For maybe 5 years I have learned, because as you know that Baba Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab always used to tell that this is an ocean, and if you just take a mug of water, nothing will happen to the ocean. So, and
Correct.
nothing, you
Very
don't have
true.
anything, to do in your new ways. Everything has been done.
Correct.
You
Done.
have to take out the cream, and you have to bathe yourself. You have to take the
True,
shower out
true,
of that, and you have to
true.
you have to make the ornaments uh,
Correct,
as you see, as per your imagination. So always
correct,
I try to do
correct.
that, and I try to do whatever the sanskar my gurus have made through my uh, service to music or whatever.
True, true. Panditji, I would like to know your talim with Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab. How was it like? How was he as a guru? Means, what was the talim? How it used to happen? Because I feel that nowadays the talim is so different from what you people had. The kind of talim that it used to happen. So it is so much inspiring for young generation people like
Yeah, yeah.
me.
Actually,
So I
actually,
wanted to know your talim with Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab.
yeah. Actually, when I started talim, he was very strict, and that time actually I used to go at his place once a week. The class used to be for once a week, and he had written only some compositions for 3 or 4 ragas, because he didn't believe, or those kind of ustads and gurus, they didn't believe that everything should be in written form. So maybe 3 or 4 ragas he had written, and the rest of the things actually he started teaching me by heart learning. And when it started, it was very difficult for me to digest. And then he just told me that whenever I am just telling you, because that time we didn't have the recorder. Even when the recorder came, we were not allowed. Even I couldn't
Allowed, allowed.
afford, not allowed, and I couldn't afford to have one recorder. So, and always Saji always used to keep telling that no recording, nothing. Only you have to listen. And when I am going to give you eight tans or 8 phrases or whatever, out of 8, if you can remember 2, that will be the cream. So gradually it will
Wow.
increase. And that's how the whole session, whole you know the totality of the music, totality of the presentation should come to students mind. So that's how actually the teaching process started. And even I still remember, I have learned Yaman for 6 times, 6 to 7 times,
Oh,
in different stages. I started with Yemen, and then a little bit after maybe 1.5 or 2 years, once again Yemen, and one rock for 8 9 months, sometimes 1 year. And everybody was so scared to stare at him and to say something. Not like the students of our time, that Guruji, I would like to listen to this. I just listened to one of your recordings, and I would like to learn. It was not possible for that, for
uh,
us to
yes.
ask Ustadji.
True, true,
So
true.
so he used
Just
to
to
tell.
interrupt you here, just to interrupt you, what age you started learning from Bahadur Khan Sahab?
Maybe 10, 9, 10, yeah,
Oh,
something like that. Yeah.
such a young age.
So, yeah. I was with him 18 years, for 18 years.
I mean, Panditji, this is
And
this is a lesson for students to learn from one guru for 18 years without, having that
oh,
privilege of asking
in
questions.
fact, yeah, in fact, I'm telling you one, there are lots of anecdotes, and they
Ji.
had some different kind of, beliefs. And I was not even allowed to perform in the junior radio programs, like children program, or never ever I was allowed to perform. Even my father, once he had asked Ustadji that, Ustadji, can he be allowed to appear for national scholarship? And then he was so annoyed, he just told me that, if you need to have more, if you need to have money for him, you just don't pay me. So I was so scared, my father was so scared, then I didn't participate. Only one time he allowed me, when I appeared for All India Radio Music Competition, and it took at least 1.5 years to take the decision. And finally, he allowed, and he just told me that you are going to play this and this and this, and you are going to be the first. And that happened.
Oh,
He
oh,
just told me that you are going to play this, Yaman and Tori, nothing else. And I did play that, and I won the prize. And that's how actually. And I was not even allowed after getting the prize. I was declared the All India Radio winner. After 2 3 years, then I got the clearance from Ustad Ji that now you can perform outside. When I was around 22 23 years old,
oh,
then
nice.
I got the clearance and I got the permission to perform. Not many, not many, some of the concerts. So that's their belief, which is absolutely opposite to nowadays.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just keep telling that I am old school. I still have that belief, and I also try to convey this message to my students, including my son.
Yes, yes.
So
True, true.
so that's how actually it happened. The संस्कार, वो जो संस्कार बन जाता है, वो तो वहां से हटाना बहुत मुश्किल है. I am absolutely open to take anything, any kind of music, any. But when you following, when you are going through particular path, you have to maintain this discipline. That
Correct.
I always maintain.
Wow, wow, wow. It's so fascinating to listen to, the talim that you received from, such great masters, whether it is Swar Samrat, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, or Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab, or vocal dripper training. This makes me, I have a very, I have heard many of your recordings, many of your concerts also. One of the striking features which I have observed uh, is that you are one of the very few instrumentalists who play rags like Lalita Gauri, Devgiri Bilawal, Gaud Sarang. uh, how does I mean how is this because normally we are used to listening to Jinjoti, Rageshri, or some new ragas like or Bihag, but very very rarely we get to we used to hear ragas like
No,
these
I enjoy playing all kind of ragas because बहुत मेहनत करके हमने सीखा है. बहुत मेहनत
जी
करके गुरुओं ने मुझको सिखाया. So I should give the chance to present to the audience. So once I have started and people have had the expectations, and that's how actually I always try to find out the new ragas what I have not performed. But on the contrary, I just let me tell you one very funny anecdote. I usually don't repeat any rag
जी
in one city at least for a couple of months or couple of years. But someday, one of my tabla players, I was touring in US, and he just told me that he had met somebody who was from Benares. He's a great admirer of my music. But last 3 times, I had been there and I have played Bhageshri. बोले
oh
पंडित जी आप जब आएगा प्लीज बागेश्वरी मत बजाइए. तो मैंने कहा कि वो बहुत देर देर पे मैं एक लॉन्ग गैप में मैं गया था उसी टाइम पे. तो ये भी
जी
हो गया. बट यूजुअली आई डोंट रिपीट एंड आई ट्राई टू cultivate the ideas of what I have learned. And now with the development of and also क्या होता है ना कि म्यूजिशियंस आर्टिस्ट लोगों को तो वो भी एक इवॉल्विंग एक होता है ना. तो the way actually I used to play, let me tell you, I one time I used to play Kausi Khandra very frequently. One rag
oh
was very favorite, and I used to play, and that had given me a lot of fame. You know, if now I listen to those recordings, I just try it. I can't tolerate because all the performances I have performed with Rang Ragdari. So
oh
that happened, wrong Ragdari. It was okay, with that maturity, it's okay. But now, when I feel that this should be treated like this, So definitely it will be different from what I used to play 20 years back or 10 years back. So I that's how actually I get a lot of requests also, and I try to find out the ways when I learned from either Bahadur Khan Sahab or Alibar Khan Sahab the same rag after 2 or 3 years when I had learned in different ways, because they were like, they used to observe the rag with a bird's eye view. I just I still can I can't think that with one note. Always Ali Akbar Khan Sahab always used to keep telling that only one note is more than enough to recognize the rag.
Wow.
So, in fact, I have seen so many times when he started his performance, there are four strings in the upper part of the instrument sarod, which are called the drone strings, tanpura strings, which are tuned according to the scale or the raga. So he was performing bihag, and the gandhar,
Oh.
that gandhar was okay, but the rekhab was disturbing quite for a quite a bit of times. So he was a little bit disturbed, For Rekhab, if Rekhab is
Hmm.
very predominant for Behag, the mood is
Hmm.
sometimes, वो बिगड़ सकते हैं. And
Yes.
finally, it was absolutely okay. And then he started with the Gandhar with for at least 40 to 40 seconds to 1.5 minutes. And then Gandhar
Oh.
to Sa. That's it. The whole picture of Behag that came, you know.
Oh.
That is the fresh lesson always I get from my gurus. Still now
Yes.
I get those lessons, and I try to figure it out how far we would be able to do that. Minimum notes, maximum effect.
हाँ, क्या बात है.
बहुत कम बात करने से कितना ज्यादा इफेक्ट हो सकते हैं.
वाह.
And
True.
always I believe that in every art, it's very difficult to say uh, difficult words in difficult ways. It's very easy, but it's very difficult to say difficult things in simpler ways. That's
वाह.
what actually they have done, और वो करके उन्होंने उसी लेवल पे पहुंच गए. एंड आई एम स्टिल इन बिलीव दैट वो तलाश में मैं अभी तक हूं कि वो हम थोड़ा सा अगर फ्रैक्शन ऑफ देयर नॉलेज, फ्रैक्शन ऑफ देयर एबिलिटी अगर मेरे पास होगा तो माय लाइफ विल बी, मतलब धन्य हो जाएगा.
I mean, it's so wonderful to listen to this, Panditji. You are, I mean, you are at, I mean, you have achieved so much, but still you say that everything, if you can achieve even
नहीं नहीं,
a small, I mean, it's
कुछ नहीं
really,
कुछ नहीं.
it's all एक सीख है. Youngsters, whoever wants to, do the professional music, this is a really a lesson to all of us, young musicians. Really, I would like to show a comment from Shailaja Khanna ji is also with us today. So, Shailaja ji from Delhi.
Yeah, hello Shelly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so through the same rag, it shows different aspects with time for a creative artist. Like, thank you.
there is one more comment which I would like to show it to you. Neil Jain, he is
uh,
from Indore. He has written that Panditji is very particular in following the time theory of raga music.
yeah,
I
that's
would like to, yeah, I would like to ask about this question. I mean, this point which he has written mentioned, because what is your thoughts on ra- time theory of raga music? Because now because of this, I'm talking about last 2 years, because of changes in the world, uh,
yeah.
lots of online concerts are happening, and because of the time difference in the parts of world, so how it is possible to follow this raga theory? And I heard that
Yeah,
some artists say that even when we sit in a hall, AC air conditioned hall with lights on, everything, even though you are playing in the morning concert, you are playing a morning concert, it feels like you are sitting in
in the evening.
you know
Yeah,
evening. So,
yeah.
what is your opinion about it?
It's a very relative question. My Guruji, especially Baba, he had a belief that even he always used to teach the morning rag in the morning time and the evening rag in the evening time.
Oh,
Then I one time I have asked, then when you had recorded a lot of all India radio recordings, the evening melodies in the daytime, then he told that with uh, very confidence that we have not done right thing. The belief was like that, and basically a lot of things actually वो जो संस्कार बन जाता है ना, what I feel inside, that is the main thing. It's a very abstract thing. I know the story of a lot of musicians have. In fact, one time Ali Akbar Khan Sahab was playing for Shankarlal Festival in Delhi in December, and he was playing Miyaki Malhar and Desh Malhar, and
oh,
and in the mid of the concert, the rain started. So,
oh,
you know, uh, हो सकता है नहीं भी हो सकता है वो some sync with the nature that happened. But what I feel, if I when I am performing, I will definitely consider the local ambience. Even on the stage in the auditorium, in the AC auditorium, everything is now dark and only the uh, highlights on the stage, on the lights. But still, when I am entering the stage, that happened in the morning. So the continuity of the period, when I am performing, that always tries to react on uh, my mindset, my creative mind. And let me tell you one another anecdote of concept. I had asked that one time I had a concert in on 12th of January, Swami Vivekananda's birthday in Kolkata, Ramakrishna Mission. They have been continuing this great festival for so long time. So once I was the last artist of the morning session.
oh,
So I was supposed to start around 11:30 or between 11:30 and 12:15. Then I asked him, and he was there. That time he was in Calcutta, and then I asked, "What should I start with?" Then he told that if you start by 11:59, you can start any late morning rag. But if you cross 11:59, you have to start with sarang.
oh, oh my
So
God.
he was so particular about that. So not into that in that particular in so strict way, but uh, it's a question of belief. It's a question of your mindset, and I personally believe that what the Tori feel, that the rag Tori, Miyaki Tori or Bilaskani Tori, the feeling of that rag, what you are going to get it from while you are singing or performing, it is not very easy to get the same feel if you try to play or sing at 6:30 in the evening,
Yes,
because the sarsthan is totally different. So I will
correct.
feel comfortable to play Bilas Tori at the 6 in the evening rather than Lalita Gauri or Sri or Purvi, something like that.
Urvi.
That
Yes.
will make me psychosomatically more enriched and more stable. That I can say.
Wow. Wow. Very, very, very pertinent point you have observed and you have shared
Yeah.
with us. One more linking to the same point, I would like to ask one more question. In one of the interview, you have said uh, that a raga too has its own laya of opening up. Hamsadhwani will lose its character if played in Yaman's pace. So, how to approach a raga? Means as
You
per
know,
the rags bhav, or what is your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I have had the same questions and queries, and I have asked many times to my gurus, and it's like it's like a personality. Some people are very extrovert, some people are very introvert. You can't just make them an introvert person to an extrovert person, so the rag, the characteristics and the personality of the rag, that will that will that has to be decided with the character of the raga. And during this, I had a lot of discussion with my Guruji, and he just told that there is a particular rhythm. I was really, when he was telling me, he was teaching some rag, and in the bistar with Bilambit Tintal, I was playing, and he was telling me that you are out of rhythm. I was shocked for the first time. Then he told that there is a particular gap and space and pause between two notes.
Oh,
So if somebody is very nicely spoken person, and if he takes lot of space in between two words, either he has some problem or he is a stammerer. Exactly, he mentioned this
okay.
word. So with the expression, the raga structure would be like the alap structure or the gatkari structure of Darbari can't be matched with Hamsadhani or Khamaj or Mach Khamaj, you know.
Correct.
So that's how actually it is determined, and it has to be determined how much time you are going to put. When I used to learn from him, that was a fantastic lesson what I have heard and learned from him. He used to teach me like Marwa, and he just gave me 4 or 5 passages, and then he used to tell me that next 5 minutes you have to play on your own, but not a single phrase has to be repeated, and that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part, and
Yes.
that's how the sense of proportion and the character of the raga one has to imbibe and internalize, you know.
Wow.
So that's how your approach towards unfolding of the raga, that will be decided and that will be determined if you learn it properly. So
Yes.
that's how actually each and every raga has got its own personality and own kind of perception, so you have to understand, you have to realize the ins and outs of the ragas. And like in Puriya Dhanashri, if you just put that re, it's longer. Ma ga ma re ka ra ta ra da da ra. You can't do that.
Yes.
So da 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 da.
क्या
So
बात है?
that's
Wow.
how. So that's how the difference, immediately you will get the difference. And as soon as you will get the difference, then you will get the whole picture and a very picturesque description of the rag that will be framed here and here. If you can
Wow.
imbibe the whole thing, and then when you are going to uh, present it, that reflection has to be there. So that's how actually Khan Sahib used to tell me that when I play, I start the raga and then I become the audience. Somebody just uh, try to hold my hand and just keeps uh, taking me on the path, and I become the listener and I listen the raga.
Wow.
Such a fantastic kind of realization what he had received.
Wow.
That kind of things I can't conceive those, but still I am aging now, and I try to remember all these experiences what he used to tell me. I try to put it in my musical experiences and try to put it in my raga presentation. that that
Yeah.
that much I can say.
Wow, wow. I would like to show one or two comments here. Lakshmi Mohan he has also written that it's not every day that a musician of legend like you go back and analyze your own music. Such humility and dedication, so inspiring for all of us. Your Kaushik Kanras have been and will always be a treasure. Pranam. So
Thank you.
and this
Take
is
care.
from Lakshmi Mohan. Yeah,
Laksha and I was there. They have been
yeah,
learning from me for a long time, and they're really doing very good. So
yeah.
you all bless him, and you must have heard them. They are really doing very
Yes,
good.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there is one more question from a person who is very close to you. That's Indrayud. Uh,
Oh,
he has asked a question. What about this time cycle theory? What we were discussing. So he says that a performer in India is performing on social media live in his early morning for a New York organization's page. Majority viewers are for them it's evening, and Indian viewers are watching it live in the morning. So what to play? So his question.
yeah, that's what actually I already I replied. You know, if you
Yeah.
are, if the organizer wants to make the audience satisfied with their local time, then you are bound to play the morning raga. Otherwise, if it is free, then I should take the advantage and I should take the liberty to play whatever I feel. If I play in the morning, then I definitely I can take the morning raga.
Wow. Very, very true. Thank you for answering that question. This actually even Bhaskar Royji has mentioned about the same thing that you have already location will hold good, the artist location, and he should select the rag accordingly. That's what you said. Uh, now I'll come to yeah, another aspect of you, that is as a music arranger, you have done a great work. You have been associated with
A
Salil
lot of
Chaudhary ji, Gulam Ali Sahab, then many people you have been associated with. So, can you tell a little bit about your experience as a music arranger?
Now, before that, not only arranger, I have directed a lot of film score and I
Yeah.
have composed music for the singers, a lot of basic albums and all. You know that my first priority was performance, but in 80s, a lot of music directors who used to be very popular in Bengal, they tried to convince my ustad and my father that he's doing so good, so can we get him to perform for the film or something like that. So I was not allowed, but finally when I got the clearance and I used to start working with the great musicians and great film directors like Satyajit Ray, Tarun Majumdar, and a lot of film directors. And that time actually I had learned a lot, and according to their theory, I have learned, especially from Salilda, that music composition, especially the film music, is that particular subject has got a very special science. You know, it's not like that. Whatever I feel like, I can do that. So it was a great learning process while working with them. Uh, Hours and hours they used to take, and they made me perform for that particular piece. And he used to analyze that why he has taken this phrase with the Western phrases like that minor six combination. You have to take that minor six, and why is that? Logically, he used to tell me that. And when he after the recording, when he is just going to put that piece as a background, the effect was amazing. So that's how actually I started learning a lot of things. And the first ever music arrangement that offer has come from, I must have to say, I am really very, very obliged and grateful to Pandit Ajay Chakraborty. As you know, that Ajay da is very close to me, and when along with his classical performance, he was pretty popular with Rag Pradhan, raga based Bengali songs. So he offered me that I think you would be a good arranger and you just arrange for my album. And that's how it
Oh,
started. So I was not a very rated arranger, like one after another, because my first priority was the solo
Performance.
performance, and it was very difficult to keep the balance between two.
True.
So
True.
that's how actually it started, and a lot of musicians, including Rashid Khan, is a great friend of mine. And in 2000, I have done a Sufi album for him that got released through Music Today, and I have also composed a lot of telefilms and Bengali feature films. Recently, I have done one feature film in trilingual where Nasiruddin Shah and Soumitra Chatterjee is there.
Oh,
Both are there. So that's a passion. It's I like to be associated with so many. It's not that I am as a classical musician I am doing that, and a lot of people just expect that I be performing there, but that has got nothing to do with my solo performance. However,
yes.
while I am performing that time, I am using all the Western instruments, and as I have been experienced with a lot of works of the great maestro composers, so it was not very difficult for me to use this. That's how it was going on. Now I have I do very selective works, and when I get the chance, I do compose a lot of things.
Okay. One another thing I wanted to know from you is you have performed a lot of Jugalbandi concerts with Carnatic musicians, with Western musicians also. You have a lot of fusion concerts you have done. What is the essence or preparation for a musician when you do a Jugalbandi concert with a Carnatic musician or a Western musician?
Basically, I have done in both cases. First of all, I had a great aptitude for the Carnatic music, and especially the laya and talas. So first time I was introduced to Carnatic music, I had performed in early 90s maybe with V Kannan, who is the nephew of great dancers Padma Subramaniam ji, and
Oh,
I was introduced by none other than Salil Chaudhary.
oh,
Salila used to love me a lot, and he had sent me to perform over there at Krishna
oh,
Ganasava. We performed with Bikram Ghosh and I think somebody who was also great mridangist was there. And then I had performed with Shashank, I had performed with Manjunath and Kumresh Ganeshji. So I really enjoy playing with them because as you have told, that you know, for the Carnatic music, I tried to play not only the usual ragas which are taken as like Charukeshi or Kirwani, but also I tried to play Nagumamu composition. I
oh.
also tried to play, yeah, I tried to play Karaharapya and a lot of Carnatic compositions. So that was that I took it as fun, and it was very successful. And a lot of Carnatic musicians really loved to play with me. Even I had played with uh, that guitar player. What is the name?
Mandolin Srinivas.
No,
Srinivas,
no, 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 no,
mandolin.
no, no, no. Guitar player. Uh, I can't remember name. Very, very popular.
Okay.
Anyway, so we had a lot of Europe concerts toured with Mysore Manjunath ji. I played with Mysore Manjunath and Nagraj ji. So I really enjoy, and it's a great fun.
Wow.
And also with the in terms of jugalbandi with the Hindustani musicians, I have performed. Yeah, his name is Ravi Kiranji,
Ravi
Vidwan
Kiran,
Ravi
yeah.
Kiran. Yeah, Ravi
Yes,
Kiran.
yes.
Ravi Kiran. I played
Yeah.
once with him,
Okay.
and I performed with a lot of sitar players like Shujat Bhai. I had made a lot of yeah, what you call. Jugalbandi, first we performed in 1994, I guess,
Oh,
and that Charukeshi, and that was a very hit recording from that got released from US. And after that, a lot of other musicians too, with Shahid Bhai, with Kusal Das ji,
gee.
with Nayanda. I played with Nayanda a couple of times.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, and also I just forgot that it was a great opportunity to perform with none other than the legend Vidwan Bal Murali Krishna ji.
Gee, gee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's amazing to know your experiences with so many musicians which you had you had done the Jugalbandis with. Uh, I would like to ask about one thing which is really interesting me. I mean, the way you conduct Swar Samrat festival. It's within, I mean, it's just 10 years old festival, and today it's considered as one of the biggest music festivals that musicians aspire to perform there. Musicians, listeners aspire to go and listen to the festival, the 3 day festival. And you also, the as a young musician, I feel that the kind of encouragement you give to young musicians with a different concerts during the SSF Alap, which you have named for the youngsters. It's really, really amazing. So, how did this idea of Swar Samrat came into your
Thank you
mind?
so much, Dhananjay, just taking this particular topic because it was my dream, right from the beginning. Right from the beginning how it came to my mind. Let me tell you, in 2009, Khansa passed away, Halibur Khansa, and I was thinking from that time that I should do something in the memory of the great legend. But I was not prepared to do anything which should not be befitting with the name, with the weight of that particular legend. you know so I wanted to start with a big bang. So it took at least almost 3 years. And by the time in 2012, also Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, he just also passed away. So I started thinking what should be done, and it was very difficult because I am not an organizer. It takes a lot of time, and the main resources were my son Indrayut, my wife Mansi, we three, and a couple of my students. That's it. So then I started asking people that I just want to do something like that, and how could it be done? But with by the grace of God and my guru's blessings, the first one actually who had inspired me, that was Pandit Sapan Chaudhary. Sapanda told me that you know you definitely will be successful. You just see, and you won't believe the first year before the concert, maybe prior to the concert, 3 weeks or 4 weeks back, I didn't have a single big sponsor.
Oh,
The title sponsor, I didn't have the title sponsor. It was a huge budget, because the artist lineup was 2 days festival. First day was first item was Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma with Pandit
oh,
Anindo Chatterjee. Second item was Pandit Biju Maharaj ji. Third item was Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia. And the last item was Pandit Jasraj. That was the all night concert, 10 to 6:50. It was jam packed, 4,000 people. Next day, evening,
oh,
the first item was Ustad Ashish Khan, my Khalifa, with Pandit Sapan Chaudhary. Then Appaji, Girija Devi ji, and the last
wow.
item was Zakir ji's solo. That was an evening concert,
Oh,
and that's how it started. And after a couple of years, I started thinking, because our generation have really faced a lot of problems to get the real stage, the right stage, because the same thing needs to happen. one particular sets of musicians, they used to be called for the concerts, but only one there was difference. In our times there are lots of small circle concerts, circle programs,
Yes.
by virtue of which we got a lot of exposures. All the topmost musicians, the topmost critics, they used to come, and we used to get a lot of exposures and inspirations and lessons from them. So then I started thinking that how could it be possible. Then Indraj started thinking, and he had started with the Alap. That was a different concert, not along with Sar Samrat festival. And gradually, I started thinking that we should be taking the best of the young musicians as much as possible, and that's how it just went on, and we had been able to pick the best of the musicians as much as possible. And finally, in fact, last year, I really didn't think that it would be it would have happened, it would have been possible, uh, only because of I got the well wishers and a lot of sponsors, and great support from the sponsors and organizers from abroad. And that's how we tried to figure it out. And Indrayud actually is the main key person, because as you know that Indrayud is very picky and choosy in terms of the presentation and technical side. And I have to take the decision, and my wife also try we both try to design the qualitative side, you know and how to bring the money and all this. So last year, we had been able to put a lot of young musicians, as we have shot in 5 cities. And by grace of God and by my guru's blessings, we have been able to 103 plus musicians to put in this festival. And as a lot of people must have noticed, that so many great musicians were there, including you. And I have no hesitation to mention that Dhananjay was so much appreciated with his channel.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
almost 34 episodes were there. So that's how it is still going on. But I don't know what will happen, because during this pandemic time, it's very difficult to take the decision. But last year we had been able to organize in only 1.5 months, and it was very difficult. As you know, you are also the part of the production team in Bangalore. So we had deputed different people, and we had not been able to go to the respective places. Indrayud has done every arrangement from here,
Cap-
sitting in the room. It's like, the main
Yeah.
lab in my house, and everything was just being conducted from here, and that's how it happened.
Yeah. I mean, it was last year's SSF, because I have not attended the live SSF, but last year's SSF was really, I don't think so. There is any other festival which
And that
had
is the
that.
that is the yeah, that is the only I must have to say that this is the only festival where uh, 8 times, I think 30, 8 times consecutively Zakir ji had performed. That was a great
Oh,
achievement. All the top notch musicians, everybody was there. Sapanda, Zakir ji, Pandit Anindra Chatterjee, Pandit Kumar Bose, Ustad Sabir Khan, and the next generation, Pandit Tanmay Bose, Pandit Shubhankar Banerjee,
Yo-
everybody,
Yogesh.
Pandit Bikram Ghosh, Pandit Jogesh Samsi, and in the instrument also Shujat Bhai, Budhaditya Mukherjee, Rashid Khan, Ajay Chakraborty, Kaushiki Chakraborty, Ullas Kashalkar, Suresh Talwalkar. You name any name, everybody was there.
Correct, correct. I know, I know. And it is really wonderful because Shailaja ji has commented one thing that Jugalbandis with Shujat Bhai were really amazing. So in sync. I remember one concert in Kolkata Ramakrishna Mission ended with Rag Des. So she has mentioned this. Actually, quite a few uh, artists have joined. Wasim Ahmad Khan from Calcutta, he has also joined today for this interview session. Uh, One more thing I would like to ask. There is one question from I will take from the audience. Bhaskar ji has asked this. You are a faithful stickler of Gharana Parampara, and at present you are the foremost representative of Mahar tradition. Do you feel that nowadays Gharana system is breaking down?
Actually, in one way, the inheritors of the so-called gharanas, the real inheritors, they were supposed to take care of that. And in my gharana, I can tell about my gharana. My Guruji's eldest son, Ustad Ashish Khan Sahab, whom we consider as the Khalifa. He is now in Los Angeles. And the other one who is a fantastic player is Alam Bhai, Alam Khan. He definitely has got a lot of responsibilities. And in other gharanas also, the let me tell you one thing. This gharana system, if you just I just if I just try to rewind the whole system, the gharana system started when the gurus, they have started teaching their students in one place. It was not very easy to reach over there. And when the diversion started, when the disciples, they started moving from one place to another, they were trying to put it in their own ways. And that's how, keeping the gharana tradition and the essence, they have tried to uh, embellish the whole music in their own way, but not ruining their gharana's own identity. And
Oh,
when the main the main genius of the gharana, if you consider in vocal gharana also, if you consider Ustad Baregulam Ali Khan Sahab, Baregulam Ali Khan Sahab, if you just analyze his gaiki, you will have a lot of influence from Gwalior, lot of influence from Delhi, lot of influence from uh, Agra. And he had the total synthesis of the elements from different gharanas. With his genius, he had been able to produce his own gaiki, right? So if
correct.
you consider the Patiala Kasur Gharana, Patiala Kasur Gharana, if you listen to Ashik Ali Khan Sahab or the other exponents, and if you listen to Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab, you are not going to get the same thing from him, right?
Yes.
So if you listen to Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, if you listen to Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab and Ustad Bahadur Khan Sahab, or Pandit Nikhil Banerjee or Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Annapurna ji, Sharon Rani ji, and so many, but they have learned from same guru, but with different colors, not winning the gharana uh, identity. So when we are trying to put it in our ways, we are trying to put our thinking, our ways of the whole culmination is like that. At the same time, we are not trying to abolish the gharana identity. So those who are trying to put in that way, definitely the gharana system will be there, not as like the hardcore gharana system. The hardcore, what is hardcore gharana system? Mogubai Kurtikar, Mogubai Kurtikar to her daughter to her students, or whatever. That is not possible now. So most
Yes.
of the cases, now, consider you or the generation of your generation, a lot of singers who are trying to follow a particular system, but it is very difficult to uh, maintain a particular artistry within a short period of time. It takes long time to establish your own identity.
Yes.
But in my opinion, one has to maintain, and one has to have the courage to keep the Gharana identity very properly. That's my
Wow.
opinion.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know whether I
Uh,
had been able to put out in the proper way, or you have been. I have been able to make you understand what exactly
no,
I think.
no, certainly we have understood what you are trying to explain to us. It's almost 1 hour, 11 minutes now. I will ask one last question to you. Uh, what advice would you give it to youngsters who want to take music as profession, the current generation? Because what you have undergone, the talim part, whether the when your guru says that you cannot perform till certain age, or after till certain the point he says yes to you. So this is all very difficult part now in this today's date, because of social media, because of so what advice would you give to young artists who want to uh, take music as profession?
It's very difficult time, as especially after this last 1.5 years for this pandemic. The situation is really worse, and I am really very very uh, worried for the next generation of musicians, because those were at the juncture of a lot of things, uh, that has been totally ruined. But definitely we'll be looking forward to have a greater day with a lot of bright sunlight. The thing is, first of all the junior the young musicians, they must have to have one thing which is very necessary, that is the respect and reverence towards
Wow.
subject. It's very important.
Wow.
Secondly, you have to have the same kind of feeling for the raga. If you don't have that kind of fear, or if you don't obey the rules, something with the raga, a lot of people think that, oh, I can play, I have the techniques, and I have a lot of things which can uh, draw a lot of claps, and wow, that's it. But this music, I am repeating the statement from my ustad, from my guruji, that if you take out one mug of water from the ocean, that's nothing. The ocean is not going to lose anything, and
Correct.
there is nothing new to prove. Everything has been proven.
Yes.
So that reverence and that respect we have to have. And secondly, this social media, it definitely is a great add-on things, which are must be very necessary things, definitely. But we have to keep a balance between keeping eyes on social media and the riyaz.
Wow.
One has to have the capacity to do the both things. I have seen in lot of cases. Definitely, they have to be in touch with the organism. This is not the time that you have a great practice in your home, and you just practice for 16 hours or 12 hours or 10 hours, and then people are going to call you from your home, and you will be seated on the stage. That's not possible. You
First,
have to promote yourself. You have to
yes.
promote yourself. But first of all, you need to be much more confident about your potentials, about your product. If you want to sell some product, the product quality is very much important. You have to make sure, you
True.
have to make the buyers to be sure of their quality. So
Yes.
both things have to be done, but in
Yes.
proper ratio.
Yeah.
And that's it. And one has to have a little more patience. That's it.
Patient. Wow. Wow.
Patient.
Wow. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I mean, it was a
Thank
wonderful
you.
conversation, Panditji. You gave us
Thank
time.
you.
You gave us so much time, and you explained to us about the music, your musical journey, and your musical thoughts. It's
it's
so much.
it's
Thank you so much
i
to
i
you.
still i still believe I'm a student of music, and in that particular perspective, I just try to explain whatever I have experienced. And thank you so much
Yes.
for taking these pertinent topics and questions. I really enjoyed. And thank you very
Thank.
much, the viewers, those who were here. with us.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah. Thank
and
you.
stay
Thank you.
safe. Stay
Yes.
safe,
Yes. Yeah.
and use the masks. Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I thank all my viewers for being with us today. Please join me next week, same time on Friday with a new guest. Thank you so much. Good night. Stay safe.
Take care.